When Royal Enfield launched the Himalayan a few years back, people were a bit surprised because the Himalayan was a completely different product from the company's existing portfolio, and it was an instant hit for Royal Enfield. But as time went on, it became clear that the Himalayan was a heavily flawed product. It was plagued with a lot of reliability issues. But to Royal Enfield's credit, they were able to iron out most of those issues. And as of now, the Himalayan is a solid product from the Royal Enfield. But still, in many areas, the Himalayan feels lackluster when compared to the competition. For the past couple of months, there have been numerous sightings of a new test mule which is supposed to be a whole new Himalayan designed from the ground up. It doesn't seem that this test mule has anything in common with the existing Himalayan except for the general styling. So in this video, we will take a look at the new test mule and see what we can expect from the upcoming supposedly Himalayan 450. In my opinion, the biggest weak point of the current generation Himalayan is its engine. The single-cylinder air-oil-cooled 411cc engine has a decent low-end and mid-range grunt, making it quite suitable for off-road use. But as soon as you enter into highways for high-speed cruising, the lack of power becomes quite apparent. Sustaining anything over 100 km per hour or 62 miles per hour is a struggle. The current generation Himalayan produces around 24.1 brake horsepower at 6100 rpm and 32 Nm of torque at 4250 rpm. For reference, its main competitor, the KTM Adventure 390, makes 44 brake horsepower at 9000 rpm and 37 Nm of torque at 7000 rpm, which is almost double the horsepower of the Himalayan. It's rumored that the upcoming Himalayan will have a 450cc liquid-cooled engine and will produce a power figure close to 40 brake horsepower, which will put it in the same ballpark as its main competitor, the Adventure 390. But I think that's a bit optimistic. Realistically, it may produce somewhere around 35 brake horsepower, creating a nice gap between the flagship 650cc twins. The other major downside of the Himalayan is its weight. With fully fuel ready to ride, the Himalayan weighs around 200 kilograms. That's a substantial 25 kilograms more than its main rival, the KTM 390 Adventure, which only weighs 175 kilograms fully fuel ready to ride. Yes, the Himalayan does have a lot of parts made out of metal, unlike the plasticky build of the KTM. But I would trade the metal build for overall lightness on any day of the week, because the heftiness of the Himalayan hampers its ability to perform optimally in on and off-road conditions. I hope that the Royal Enfield puts more effort into making the next generation Himalayan much lighter than the current generation. The existing Himalayan 411 uses a basic but effective suspension setup with a set of traditional telescopic forks at the front and a monoshock at the rear. It provides the Himalayan with a great ride quality and a neutral handling characteristics. The new one seems to have much more sophisticated suspension setup with upside-down forks at the front, which will probably be supplied by Showa, and a monoshock at the rear, hopefully with some levels of adjustments. I think it's a clear indication that the new Himalayan will be a step above the current one in terms of handling and ride quality. When it comes to the braking components, the Himalayan 411 has a single disc with axially mounted caliper at the front and a single disc with a floating caliper at the rear. It also features switchable ABS. The braking performance of the current Himalayan is nothing exceptional, but is quite good. The new one also seems to have the same braking setup as the current Himalayan, with a single disc gripped by an axially mounted 2-piston caliper at the front and a single disc with a single piston floating caliper at the rear. This might be a bit disappointing news for some, but hopefully the new Himalayan will be considerably lighter than the current one, which will benefit the Himalayan in braking performance. But we're gonna have to wait and see. The new model will also have wire spoke wheels. As a part of moving with the times, the new Himalayan will receive a full-color TFT display. But unlike most displays, this one has a circular shape, which makes it kind of unique. And by the looks of it, this one seems to be up there with the segment-leading 390 Adventure's display. Even though this is a very welcome addition, this one will have an impact on the pricing of the motorcycle. The new Himalayan also gets full LED lighting. One of the interesting choices that Royal Enfield has made is the integration of the tail lights and indicators at the rear, just like in the BMW motorcycles. Even though it looks good, personally I'm not a fan of this kind of setup. As of now, the Royal Enfield Himalayan is one of the better value for money motorcycles out there. This new Himalayan 450 is a completely new motorcycle built from ground up. With all these improvements and technologies on board, it will be reasonable to expect that the Royal Enfield will charge a premium over the current generation Himalayan. But the Royal Enfield will have to be really careful here, not to destroy the value for money motorcycle manufacturer image that they have built up over the years. So what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Or if you loved it, please consider subscribing to the channel. See you guys next time. Ride safe.